Hello everybody and welcome to Rimworld. I am S1mple, and this is my very first episode. I'm really excited. So, bottom line, why am I doing this? And the answer is that I've been playing Rimworld for a while now. I play a lot of video games, and I'm a musician, and I have all this recording equipment, so I figured I might as well make the most of my time and record myself playing video games. I'll be posting music as well on my channel. I'll be posting beats that I make, and also eventually I'll be posting videos of me playing piano at my church. So what is Rimworld about? The premise of this game is that three characters are in a spaceship, seen here. The spaceship crashes and they land on this unknown rim world. And so within the galaxy there's many planets, and this is a world that is largely uninhabited except for a few factions of people, and we have to help this group of people survive, build, and eventually one day hopefully make a spaceship and get off the planet. But that's a long ways away. And so that's the base of the game. It's great for stories, and it's very exciting to play and exciting to watch. I've watched a couple YouTubers play this game, and I always have a great time. If you've never played this game before, I really encourage you to stick around and just watch it and just enjoy the story as it unfolds. It happens all very naturally, and you get really attached to the characters, and it's fun. And I'll do my best to really explain as much as I can, and while keeping everything moving. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in. We're gonna go with a new colony. These are different scenarios you can choose. I'm gonna go with Crash Landed. This is the classic one. The three of you will awake in a crypto sleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before your ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown rim world, and you'll start with some supplies that we'll see in the game, and then it will be three people, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go to next. Here is the storyteller. Okay, so we have Cassandra Classic, we have Phoebe Chillax, and we have Randy Random. And what these are AI software that kind of tells the story of your game. And these characters are the people who are going to introduce elements of the story into your game. And so Cassandra is the classic version. She creates a story event on classic increasing curve of challenge and tension. She'll push you with dangerous events, then give you breathing room, then come back to push you once more. Okay? Phoebe gives you a lot of time between disasters to build your colony, but beware, at high difficulties, she'll hit as hard as anyone. And then Randy Random. Randy doesn't follow rules. He'll generate random events, and he doesn't care if they make a story of triumph or utter hopelessness. It's all drama to him. Warning, since Randy is truly random, he will sometimes send extremely difficult or unfair groups of events at you and makes for high drama and unavoidable sacrifices. And because of all that, I'm always really intrigued to play with Randy. I usually play on Merciless, but I really want the story to last as long as possible so that we don't just die right away. So I'm going to just drop down to Savage. And then normally I would do commitment mode, which means that if my characters die, there's no way I can load a previous game to bring them back. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do reload anytime. So that way, in case my audio drops out or my file gets corrupted and I'm not able to post this on YouTube, that way I can reload a previous save and be able to keep the series going. Otherwise, I will never reload. If someone dies, trust me, I'm not going to try to reload the game and save them. I won't do that. Okay, next. Okay, this is how big the world is going to be. So now the game is generating our personal world that we're going to be landed on. And then I'm going to choose a random location for us to land on and begin our game. And thanks again for being here. I've never been much of a person to think that I would do something like this, and it's pretty exciting. But at the same time, I'm a little bit nervous. But I'm glad you're here to enjoy it with me. Okay, so I'm gonna select a random area. As you can see on the planet, there's many different terrains and land types. There's desert over here, there's like forest, and then there's like ice sheet and tundra. So I'm just gonna choose a random site, and wherever we land, we land. And this is usually people's opportunity to pick who they want to be on their team to land with them, but I like just kind of dealing with what I'm dealt. So I'm gonna just take the first 3 people the game has automatically given me and just make it work with them. Okay, and with that, the game is gonna begin, and here we go. And again, I'll try to explain as much as I can for those who maybe don't have enough or don't have much experience with the game. Okay. The 3 of you awake in your cryptosleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown Rimworld. As pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. Cool stuff. Okay, and so these are my 3 people. We've landed with these brown things are food. This is all steel. Here's some guns right here, medicine, a flak vest, some silver. Silver is going to be like the currency of the game. And it seems you can tell that we've landed in the desert. And so there's not a lot of plant life, not a lot of life, period. The game has some pre-made buildings for us to maybe get started in. We might do that. Oh, and I also wanted to say that I'm going to try and make each of these series probably like about 15 to 20 minutes each episode. Okay, and then I'm not sure how often I will post them, but I'll let you guys know later. I'm not sure quite yet. Okay, so now let's take a look at our characters. Notice that the game is paused right now. I have the power to pause and play at any time. Right now I'm going to keep it paused so that we can kind of just get introduced to our characters a little bit more. This is Mathis. His backstory is that as a child, he was a cult child. Mathis was born into a powerful cult which shunned advanced technology and believed that all illness could be cured by cleansing the soul through sacred art. After his first glimpse of the outside world, he decided to run away. Well, there you go. Artistic, that gives him artistic +5 and medical -3. His adulthood, he became a colony settler. Mathis was a settler on a new colony world. Such a life requires a jack of all trades at basic hands-on tasks. Okay, and his other traits is that he's a bit of a misogynist. He doesn't like women. He's a teetotaler. He doesn't really do alcohol or drugs. And he's a transhumanist. Mathis feels limited in his feeble human body. He often dreams of being enhanced by artificial body parts. And that's intense. But as you can see, he's very talented. Like, this is really good stats for someone in the very beginning of a game. Really, really good stats. And so I'm very happy about that. And these little flames means he can learn these new skills faster. The more someone does something, the faster their skill increases. And so when they have these little flames, it means they're passionate about that thing. And so it helps their ability to learn. Okay, Ella. As a child, she was a medieval slave. Ella grew up pulling carts and digging holes on a medieval world. Simple manual labor is her oldest companion, along with her master's lash. She didn't learn to read until age 9. And then as an adult, she became a bodyguard. Ella found work on a midworld, protecting whoever paid her from harm. She gained proficiency in many different combat forms and was known for her ruthlessness against those who crossed her. Damn. And then she's a hard worker, and she is gay. And she is also very talented. Very talented. Okay. And then we got blue hair and we got green hair. Okay, we got Marsh. Ooh. He was a war refugee as a child. War broke out in Marsh's home when he was a baby. His parents fled with him, seeking safety wherever they could find it. Marsh's earliest memories are of being taught how to defend himself. The violence and destruction he witnessed left him scarred for life. Woo. As an adult, he became a sailor. Marsh traversed the ocean on journeys of exploration, seeking out plant and animal specimens from exotic places and occasionally fending off pirates. He loved the sea so much he refused to do all but the barest minimum of work on land, except to sell the treasures he collected, which then this whole adulthood being a sailor really disabled a lot of things that are valuable to us. But he's good with animals, and he's pretty smart. He's a misogynist as well. So we have 2 misogynists and a gay woman living together. So okay, and he's staggering ugly, and then he's kind. So that's nice. Yeah, hopefully that provides balance for the other 2 things, but we'll see. Okay, so let's try to find out where we're gonna kind of start our colony. I usually look for a building that's kind of pre-built towards the middle, but if I have to play towards the edge, that's fine. the reason I want to play towards the middle is because eventually we're going to get attacked, and the people are going to come from the edges of the map, and you don't want to be too close to the edge because then that means they are able to attack you faster without you being able to react. I think this is a good spot to start, so I'm going to create a zone, a stockpile zone, and what this is where people are going to know to drop things off that we want to keep. And so all these things they're going to start taking it to the stockpile zone, and everything that has an X they won't take. So when I click it and press the key F, it makes it okay for them to take. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to figure out who gets what's weapons. Okay, Mathis 5 at shooting, Ella is a 7 at shooting, and Marsh is incapable of violence, which is tough. So I'm going to give Mathis the revolver. I'm going to give Ella the bolt action, the bolt rifle, and then I'm going to now assign jobs. And so the way this works is you can give something a 1 to 4, 1 being priority, and then they'll do it in order from left to right. Okay, so I want them all to, if there's a fire, I want them to firefight. If they are sick, I want them to be in bed. Ella will be a doctor. I'm going to make everybody a doctor right now, so if someone needs taken care of, they will take care of each other. If they're sick, I want them to rest. Basic means like flicking switches and turning off lights and turning off equipment. And then I'm not going to worry about this extra stuff right now because this is very early in the game. So I like just cleaning it all up before I start, so that way I can kind of just look at it easier. Okay, so Mathis is a great construction person. Ella is going to be our farmer, and they're all going to haul together, and they're all going to clean together. Okay, but Marsh is definitely going to be our main hauler / cleaner. And then, so I'm going to press start. And so they're going to start taking stuff over to our new little zone over here. And this is going to be our building. And so what I want to do is I want to create a little sleeping spot for each person. So it's just the ground, but they'll know to sleep there now. And now they'll consider this their home. I'm going to build a door, or I'm going to request that they build a door. I mean, I guess here, although it's kind of like facing the wrong direction, but that's fine, I suppose. And I'm just going to build a wooden wall to complete the house. And I'm going to speed them up. I can always speed them up and slow them down to 3 different levels of speed. And I can pause the game at all times. So sometimes there can be really tense moments in the game, and you just need to kind of pause and look at everything. The next thing I want to do is I want to establish kind of a farming area. You can't farm on sand. That's why I set up shop here, because I have all this soil. Although it's not the best soil, it is soil, and we are in the desert, so I'm not going to find much of it. So I'm going to create a little small little growing zone, and I want them to grow. Let's see, rice. They already started growing potato. Okay, thank you. So Ella, you can see, has already started to grow her rice. She's our warrior farmer woman. And they built the door and the wall. And that's great. So they're going to start hauling stuff soon and start eating. Okay. It's a pretty big area. The desert's kind of annoying. Eventually it is going to be winter time. It's going to get really cold. Even though we're in the desert, it still gets cold. I'm going to want to start deconstructing these walls. So I can get people to tear down these walls, and we can reuse the building supplies in order to build our own structures elsewhere. So that's the next thing I kind of want to do. And I believe that's Mathis who does that. Yep, there he goes. And then, nice. And then Marsh carries it away while Mathis deconstructs it. Make sure there's a lot more. Okay. Yep. Do this. Oh, here's some more steel. I'll let them take that. That's steel. I'm not going to grab that just yet. I have plenty of steel, and I use it for things besides building. You need steel for a lot of stuff, and so I don't really use it to build structures. And so I'm gonna prioritize things I'm gonna actually build with. And so I think they're sleeping right now. Okay, and after this one, I'll move on to another task. Okay, back to the farm. Okay. Oh, they're up. Let's see what Ella's doing. She's hauling. Mathis is deconstructing, and Marsh is hauling stuff as well. Okay, so we got a good system going. Let's see what else. They need to have recreation. So in this game, it's very unique because their emotions really matter. And so you can see in this little corner, I picked Ella. In this corner, she has her needs, right? And so here's a list of everything affecting her mood. And if she gets in a bad mood, she can start doing things. She can kind of fall down in a daze, or she can attack other people, or she can kind of like go on a tantrum, and all that is really detrimental to our cause. And so it's important for me as the gamer to really try to make sure that everybody's always in a good mood, although it gets harder and harder to keep everybody in a good mood at all times. And so managing that is a really important aspect of the game. And so it's important for them to have recreation. So I have them build a little horseshoe pin right there so that they can play horseshoes. And so that way that keeps them a little bit happy. Next thing I'm going to want to do is probably try to figure out electricity. I can make a wind turbine if Mathis is good enough of a construction, and I think he is. And look at him grow. Because he's so passionate about it, it grows so fast, which is great news. And so I'm going to build a wind turbine. Power wind turbine. Just put it right there. And I like the area we're in because I can really, it's going to be big, but I can wall it off pretty easily. And someone has the flu. Awesome. Who has the flu? 2 of my colonists have the flu. Marsh has the flu. Okay, so I want to allow them to be able to treat themselves. Oh, and he has cataracts in his right eye and his left eye. How old is he? Oh, he's 60. He's a 60-year-old sailor. Mathis is 47, and Ella is 21. So yeah, I hope they all get along. Yeah, tend to yourself. None of them are really good at medical stuff. But I guess Ella is the best. She's got 3. Okay, so we got the farm. We have everything stockpiled. We have the turbine on the way. Next thing I want to actually build a legitimate stockpile room. Structure. Well, we have 104 sandstone blocks already. So we're going to use the sandstone to build this structure. Just like that. And then we're going to put the door just right there. We're going to reinstall the horseshoe pin over here. And then we're going to expand this zone. Probably should have put the stockpile zone there if I was going to do that. And delete this, so now they'll move everything into this area, and then we'll build a wall around it, roof it, and that way these things don't deteriorate. Because if we leave them outside, they deteriorate and eventually kind of disappear, and they lose their value and their quality, and we don't want that. And to look at Ella go, she's really just putting in work right now while the guys sleep. And she's taking care of them. She's working. She's taking care of them because they have the flu. Really annoying that they got the flu already. And we have a little dog. His name's Hermes. And he's just wandering around. We can try to train him a little bit. We can train him to fight with us. But I need someone who will take on that responsibility, and that's called handling. And right now, I'm definitely going to give it to Marsh because he has barely any other responsibilities. I'm also going to want to build a table because they get upset when they don't eat at a table. They get upset when they sleep on the floor as well, but I'm just not going to address that just yet. I don't know where to put the table. I'll just put it outside for right now. I can always move it later. Put one stool. There's only 3 of them, so they won't all always be eating at the same time. And so the game's updating me on a minor break risk. That means they can have a very small mental break, and they're at risk of it for different reasons, and I can try to fix those if I want to. Since it looks like you'll be here for a while, Marsh thinks you should give your faction a name. What should your faction be called? I am going to call my faction S1mple. And we are going to be S1mple Town. Okay. And with that, I think that's we're going to take a little break. Thank you guys for watching this first episode. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you tune back in for our next episode. Thanks so much. Have a good day.